to my liberal friends out there, all you're doing is showing that you're scared you can't beat them on the issues and the merits. That's why he keeps saying it's a political campaign against me. That's why he keeps saying they can't beat me at the election, at the polls. This is the only way they could do it. And if you don't put him in jail, and he still goes from being the presumptive GOP nominee to the official GOP nominee, and he goes to the polls, even though he was going to whine about winning and being rigged again, you have given more fodder to that argument, which means we'll never have peace in this country because tens of millions of people see what extent the other side is willing to go through just to keep him out of office because they can't beat him on their own merits. And they're going to say, hey, you trumped this up against him again, and we'll have no peace when all you got to do is figure out a way to beat him on the issues. But you haven't been able to do it.
Wow, that was a truth bomb blitzkrieg from ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, who sees exactly what Democrats are trying to do with this pathetic lawfare against President Trump. And he knows it's not working. We got some stunning voter registration stats that are coming out right now as we speak that's showing nothing less than a GOP surge in swing states and a comparable Democrat plunge. And then
House Bill 71 is one of the many bills up for the discussion in the regular session. If passed, it would require all Louisiana schools, K through 12, and universities to display an 11 by 14-inch poster of the framed document of the Ten Commandments.
That's right. The wonderful state of Louisiana is on the cusp of requiring all schools in the state to post a public display of the Ten Commandments in every single classroom. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and let's dive right in. Democrats are more and more panicking over reports that GOP voter registration is absolutely surging in a number of key swing states. For example, take a look at the swing state of Pennsylvania. November of 2020. Pennsylvania had about 686,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans. That's a near 700,000 Democrat voter registration advantage. Today, as of April 2024, that advantage has shrunk to 399,000. The Democrats have lost nearly 300,000 registered voters in just the past 3.5 years. And keep in mind, bumbling Biden, quote, won the state by less than 81,000 votes. And the momentum seems to be gaining here just since November of last year alone. Republican registrations have surged by over 40,000, while Democrat registrations have plummeted by nearly 10,000. Again, this since November of last year. And of course, we have the astonishing, amazing efforts of Republican activist Scott Pressler to largely thank for this. He's been spearheading voter registration drives literally all over Pennsylvania, and he is on the cusp of flipping a number of counties in the Keystone State from blue to red. He's absolutely amazing. Make sure to be supporting Scott's work. He's incredible. But we can go down the list here because this GOP registration surge is happening in literally every single swing state. So take, for example, North Carolina. Democrats have fallen from a plus 391,000 advantage in 2020 to now a 171,000 advantage today. In Nevada, Democrats have gone from a near 87,000 vote advantage to now just a 32,000 vote advantage. But perhaps most dramatically, Florida has actually gone from a near 100,000 Democrat advantage in 2020 to a near 1 million Republican advantage for 2024. This is why you'll notice it's subtle, right? The legacy media refuses to talk about it. But you'll notice Florida has ever so quietly been taken off the swing state list. Florida is now officially deep red. The second and third most populated states in the union, Texas and Florida, are now solid red. Now, what's so interesting here is what Larry Schweikert observed, which is that this is precisely the pattern we saw in 2016. In 2016, there was this mass defection, particularly in a state like Pennsylvania, where the white working class that had voted Democrat in every single presidential election since the 1980s changed their political affiliation just so that they can vote for Trump in the primaries. And then, of course, they kept that up and voted for him in the general. So it looks like we're seeing similar momentum here in 2024. And that's especially the case when we examine the crosstabs in the latest polling in these swing states. So in our video yesterday, I featured the latest Echelon swing state poll that dropped. It was a real stunner. I mean, it basically showed that Trump is running away with this. He's winning the popular vote. He's winning over 50%, I believe, in half of the 7, or more than half. It would have to be the 7 swing states. It's insane. And Rich Barris of the People's Pundit has been analyzing the crosstabs to see what's going on in that polling. And basically, when all is said and done, support for Biden on virtually all the major issues that voters care about, it's just collapsed. That's basically what's going on here, whether it's the economy, inflation, recession, jobs, the southern border, immigration, crime, even foreign policy, you name it. When it comes to all the major issues down the line, check, all the major issues, Biden's numbers are in the absolute tank. That's why he's pushing abortion, because it's basically the only issue he polls better than Trump on. He literally can't run on anything else. And so that collapse in support on all, again, not some, not most, all the major issues that voters are concerned about is absolutely politically killing Biden. And by the way, he's also losing the under 36 vote, which is fatal. I mean, he's been losing Latinos. He's been losing blacks. If he loses the under 36 vote, it's over. I mean, put a fork in him. Now, we all know what this means. As we always remind ourselves in every video, it means that the Democrats are going to be under more pressure than ever to pull off their predictable shenanigans in November. So we've got to be more diligent than ever here. Make sure to register as a poll worker, as a precinct worker. Make sure to help out with mail-in voting, ballot harvesting, whatever, with Scott Pressler and Early Vote Action. They're wonderful. Make sure to fortify this election so that we can see this massive voter registration surge reflected and not contaminated in the actual vote. Hey, gang, you've seen how much UFC fighters love President Trump and how much he loves them. They're both fighting for faith, family, and freedom. But did you know that our camaraderie goes way beyond just fighting against wokeness? We can actually get the exact same pain relief that the fighters in the UFC get, precisely because a fellow patriot and a very good friend of this channel is the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. We all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal, but they don't have to be, and that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. Clint's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called Cono CB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds, and it is the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. So whatever you do, make sure to click on that link below and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how Cono CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. The state of Louisiana is one step closer to requiring all schools in their state, both K-12 as well as colleges, to post a public display of the Ten Commandments on the walls of every single classroom. It's an extraordinary bill representing Louisiana's efforts at recovering and re-embracing their Christian heritage, and the bill passed the Louisiana House overwhelmingly the other day by a vote of 82-19. It now goes to the Senate, where it's expected to pass and get signed by their wonderful new conservative governor, Jeff Landry. Now, of course, the legacy media, even the local media outlets, are all pushing this utterly absurd notion that this bill is somehow controversial. Right? You can have all the BLM and rainbow paraphernalia you want in the classroom. That's not controversial. No. That's not. That's social justice. But put up the Ten Commandments? We got to draw a line. They keep your religion off my body. Unfortunately for these woke warriors, all Louisiana is doing here is embracing what's known as the accommodationist relationship between church and state, advocated by our founding fathers, where both church and state, though, distinct and separate institutions, nevertheless work together as a partnership in the betterment of society. Church and state work together so that the public square remains a space for the cultivation of what the Founding Fathers referred to as the civic virtues. So civic virtue was considered indispensable to freedom because only a self-governing people could be truly free. And in order to be self-governing, our Founding Fathers believed, we had to cultivate a sense of civic virtue. That's the view of literally every single Founding Father. But in order to cultivate civic virtue, you had to have faith. You had to have a faith tradition, which they considered the timeless sources of the classical virtues. That's why John Adams, our second president, said that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. And that's because only a religious people had the frames of reference for the cultivation of civic virtue. And civic virtue is a prerequisite for self-governance and therefore limited government. And all you have to do to see how right John Adams was is take out religion from the classroom and then see what ends up in your classrooms. I think we all know what we're talking about here. So good on Louisiana, and let's hope all red states follow suit as patriots around the country reawaken a nation dedicated to faith, family, and freedom. Hey, gang, I just wanted to give you a huge note of thanks to each and every one of you, the thousands of you that have recently clicked on the link below and joined our Insiders Club. As many of you know, we took a big hit from big tech. Our channel was completely and totally demonetized, but you, literally thousands of you, stepped in and you rescued me and this channel by bypassing big tech and joining our Insiders Club. You made it loud and clear to the Silicon Valley oligarchs that we're a movement, an army of like-minded patriots who refuse to be silenced by the international woke police. And so once again, I just want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you who have joined our Insiders Club for coming to our rescue. And for those of you who want to join in on the effort and take action, gang, just click on the link below and join our email list. That way we will never, ever, ever lose touch with each other, no matter what big tech does. So just click on that link below, join our email list, and become a part of an army of literally hundreds of thousands of patriots dedicated to taking our nation back, most importantly, together.